Hey everyone, welcome back to SwitchTop. Today we're counting down the top 20 action RPGs you can play right now on your Nintendo Switch. These games let you swing swords, cast spells, and level up your characters in real-time battles. If you love fighting monsters and getting stronger, this list is for you. Let's jump right in. Cat Quest III takes you on an adventure as a cat pirate sailing the high seas. You explore a big map with your ship, finding islands full of treasure and dungeons. The combat is super easy to pick up. You hit enemies with your sword, dodge, roll away from attacks, and use magic spells that you find throughout the world. As you play, you'll get stronger gear and new abilities that help you take down tougher enemies. The story is about finding the legendary treasure of the Meimu world, but there's a twist that makes your quest more important than just getting rich. The colorful cartoon style and cat puns everywhere make this game super fun, and you can even play with a friend in co-op mode where the second player controls your dog companion. Neo, The World Ends With You drops you into Shibuya, Tokyo, where you're forced to play the Reaper's game, a life or death competition that lasts 1 week. You control Rindo and his friends as they fight strange monsters called Noise in the streets of Shibuya. The combat happens in real time, where each character on your team is controlled by a different button, and you need to coordinate their attacks to create powerful combos. What makes it cool is the pin system. You collect hundreds of pins that give you different attacks like shooting fire, swinging psychic swords, or throwing objects. The game has an amazing soundtrack and colorful art style that makes Shibuya feel alive. Between battles, you'll solve puzzles, buy new clothes that give you stat boosts, and eat food to permanently increase your stats. Ys 8, Lacrimosa of Dana, follows red-haired adventurer Adal Kristen, who gets shipwrecked on a mysterious island with dangerous monsters. Adal teams up with other survivors to build a village, explore the island, and find a way home. The combat is super fast and smooth. You control one character at a time, swapping between 3 party members on the fly, and use different attack types to exploit enemy weaknesses. Some enemies are weak to slash attacks, others to pierce or strike, so switching characters at the right time is key. What's really interesting is that the game has 2 stories happening at once. Adal's adventure on the island, and his strange dreams about a blue-haired woman named Dana who lived on the same island hundreds of years ago. As you rescue more survivors, your village grows with new shops and services that help you on your adventure. Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom tells the story of Evan, a young king who gets kicked out of his castle and has to build a new kingdom. The game has 3 main parts that all feel different but work together. First, there's the action combat where you fight monsters with light and heavy attacks, dodge rolls, and magical abilities called Higgledies, little spirit creatures that help you in battle. Second, you build and grow your kingdom by constructing buildings that unlock new weapons, spells, and items. Third, there are big army battles where you command troops like a mini strategy game. The world looks like you're playing inside an animated movie, with beautiful towns and fields to explore. As you travel, you'll unite different countries under your banner of peace while fighting an evil threat that wants to destroy everything. Ys origin takes place 700 years before the other Ys games. In a world where humans are hiding from demons inside a giant tower, you choose one of 3 characters with completely different playstyles. Unica fights with an axe, Hugo shoots magic from a distance, and a third secret character you unlock later. The game is all about fast-paced combat as you fight through the tower's floors, each with different themes like a fiery area, flooded ruins, and more. The controls are super responsive. You can slash, jump, use special moves, and unleash powerful ultimate attacks that clear the screen. While the story starts simple with your character searching for missing goddesses, it gets really interesting as you learn more about the demons and the tower itself. The game's boss fights are the real highlight. They're huge, challenging battles that test everything you've learned. Persona 5 Strikers sends the Phantom Thieves on a summer road trip across Japan that quickly turns into a new mission when they discover someone is stealing people's desires again. Unlike the turn-based original game, Strikers has action combat where you hack and slash through hordes of shadows, switching between different characters on the fly. Each Phantom Thief plays totally differently. Ruji hits hard with a bat, Anne uses a whip, Morgana is quick with a slingshot, and so on. What's cool is that you can still use personas, monsters that give you special powers, by pausing the action to select different magical attacks. The game still has the calendar system where you hang out with friends to make them stronger, but it's more streamlined for an action game. You'll explore new jails, like the palaces from the original game, while trying to figure out who's behind everything. Diablo 3, Eternal Collection puts you in a dark fantasy world where angels and demons are at war, with humans caught in the middle. You pick from 7 character classes, like the Barbarian who smashes everything with big weapons, the Demon Hunter who shoots arrows from a distance, or the Wizard who casts powerful spells. The game is all about 2 things, killing tons of monsters that explode with loot, and finding better gear to make your character stronger. You'll explore randomly generated dungeons that change every time you play, so it never feels the same twice. The story has you chasing down Diablo, the Lord of Terror, but the real fun comes after you finish the main story when you unlock Adventure Mode. Here you can tackle special bounties and greater rifts with increasing difficulty levels. The game can be played solo or with up to 4 players, and the Switch version even has exclusive Legend of Zelda themed items.
That's one of the wretched mothers. There are more of them in the room.
Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch follows Oliver, a young boy who travels to a magical world to try to save his mom. The game looks exactly like you're playing a Studio Ghibli movie, with beautiful hand-drawn characters and colorful world. The battle system mixes real-time movement with menu commands, where you control Oliver or switch to one of your familiars, monsters you've tamed that fight for you. You can move around freely to dodge attacks while selecting spells and abilities from a menu. As you explore, you'll help people who are broken-hearted by finding someone with extra courage, kindness, or other emotions and bringing it to those who have lost theirs. The game comes with a gorgeous hardbound spellbook called the Wizard's Companion that teaches you new spells and has fairy tales that give hints about the world. The story tackles some pretty deep themes about loss and moving forward, all while taking you through incredible locations. Dragon's Dogma. Dark Arisen starts with a dragon ripping out your heart, but somehow you survive and become the Arisen, a hero destined to face the dragon. What makes this game stand out is the amazing combat system that lets you grab onto giant monsters and climb them to attack weak spots, Shadow of the Colossus style. You create your own character and pick from classes like Fighter, Strider, or Mage, each with totally different playstyles that you can switch between. The coolest part is the pawn system. You create a a companion who fights alongside you, and 2 more pawns made by other players join your team. These pawns learn from their adventures and share knowledge about quests and monsters. The open world is filled with dangerous creatures that come out especially at night, making torch management important. The game doesn't hold your hand. You need to prepare properly for journeys with the right equipment, and running away from tough monsters is sometimes the smartest choice. The Elder Scrolls V. Skyrim drops you into a massive fantasy world where you can do pretty much anything you want. You're the Dragonborn, a person who can speak the language of dragons and absorb their souls to learn powerful shouts. The game never forces you down one path. Want to join the Mage College and learn spells? Go for it. Prefer sneaking around as a thief or assassin? That works too. Maybe you just want to be a blacksmith and make armor? You can do that. Combat happens in real time where you equip different weapons or spells to your left and right hands. As you use skills like one-handed weapons, destruction magic, or sneaking, those skills level up and make you stronger. The world is huge with 5 major cities and countless dungeons, forts, and caves to explore, each with their own little stories to discover. The Switch version includes all the DLC like Dawnguard, Vampires, Hearthfire, Build Your Own House, and Dragonborn, a whole new island to explore.
Let me see if I can get that door open.
The Witcher 3 follows Geralt, a monster hunter with special powers who's searching for his adopted daughter, Ciri. The game lets you explore a huge medieval fantasy world filled with cities, villages, and monster-filled wilderness. Combat has you dodging, blocking, and using your 2 swords, steel for humans and silver for monsters. You also use magic signs like fire blasts and mind control to get an edge in fights. What's cool is how you prepare for big monster hunts by researching their weaknesses, crafting special potions, and applying oils to your weapons. The game is packed with choices that actually matter and change the story. Even small side quests have interesting characters and twists. The Switch version includes all the DLC with 2 massive new areas and stories, giving you over 150 hours of adventure in your pocket.
Bastards, conjure it!
Fire Emblem Warriors. 3 Hopes puts you in the boots of a mercenary in the world of 3 houses, but with a twist. You didn't become a teacher at the academy, and now you're fighting against Byleth. The game mixes the huge battlefield action of Dynasty Warriors with Fire Emblem's strategy and character relationships. You'll slash through hundreds of enemies with fast-paced combat moves, switching between different characters on the fly. Between battles, you'll hang out at your camp where you can chat with allies, cook meals that give stat boosts, and train together to unlock new abilities. The story splits into 3 totally different paths based on which house you join: the Blue Lions, Black Eagles, or Golden Deer, each with their own missions and endings. The strategy layer has you moving units on a map and issuing commands, adding real Fire Emblem tactics to the action combat.
Captain ran off ahead of us. Is she gonna be okay?
Master your fear and advance!
Out of my way!
Xenoblade Chronicles 3 throws you into a world where 2 nations fight an endless war, and soldiers only live for 10 years before their time runs out. You control Noah and his friends who discover the truth behind their world and try to end the conflict. The combat happens in real time, where your characters auto-attack while you position them and trigger special arts when they're charged up. What's really cool is how you can change character classes anytime, learning skills from each other. The biggest game changer is the Ouroboros system. Two characters can fuse together into a super powerful form with totally new abilities. The world is massive with huge open areas to explore, filled with unique monsters and hidden secrets. As you travel, you'll set up camps, complete side quests for colonies, and slowly bring people from both nations together. The game tackles some pretty heavy themes about life, purpose, and freedom. Astral Chain puts you in the boots of a rookie police officer in a future where Earth is under attack by invisible monsters from another dimension. What makes this game awesome is that you control two characters at once, yourself and a legion, a captured monster chained to you. Combat feels like a deadly dance as you control your character with the left stick and your legion with the right, stretching the chain between you to bind enemies or unleash team attacks. You'll unlock 5 different legions throughout the game, each with unique abilities like a sword legion for slicing, an arrow legion for shooting, and a beast legion you can ride. Between battles, you'll solve crimes using your legion to track evidence, listen to witness testimonies, and piece together what happened. The game mixes intense combat with detective work and platforming challenges, all wrapped in a cool anime-style cyberpunk world. NieR. Automata takes place thousands of years in the future, where aliens have invaded Earth using machine life forms, and humans have fled to the moon. You play as combat androids 2B, 9S, and A2 who fight for humanity. The combat is super smooth, letting you switch between weapons mid-combo while dodging enemy attacks. You also have a floating pod assistant that shoots bullets or lasers while you fight up close. What's really unique is how the game constantly changes. Sometimes it's a 3D action game, then it switches to a top-down shooter or even a 2D platformer. The story starts simple, but gets more complex as you question what it means to be alive. You need to play through the game multiple times to see the full story, but each playthrough feels different as you control new characters with different abilities. The Switch version runs surprisingly well and includes all the DLC content. Monster Hunter Rise has you protecting Kimura Village from the rampage, hordes of monsters driven into a frenzy. The game centers around hunting giant monsters, using their parts to craft better weapons and armor, then hunting even bigger monsters. There are 14 weapon types that play completely differently, from the quick dual blades to the explosive switch axe or the musical hunting horn that buffs your team. The big new features are the wire bug and palamute. Wire bugs let you zip through the air, run up walls, and perform powerful special moves called silk binds. Your palamute dog companion lets you ride on its back, sharpen your weapon while moving, and helps you fight monsters. The game feels faster and more fluid than older Monster Hunter titles, and the Japanese-inspired setting with yokai-like monsters gives it a unique feel. The multiplayer hunts with up to 4 players are where the game really shines.
Look out!
Star Ocean. The second story, R, is a beautiful remake of a PlayStation classic that mixes sci-fi and fantasy. You choose between Claude, a Space Federation officer, or Rena, a girl with mysterious healing powers, as your main character, and your choice changes how you see the story. The combat happens in real time, where you control one character while the AI handles your party members. You can move freely around the battlefield, unleash special moves called arts, and chain together combos. What's really cool is the skill system that lets you learn abilities like cooking, music, and blacksmithing to create powerful items. The game also has 80+ different endings based on your choices and which of the many recruitable characters you build friendships with. The remake uses a gorgeous 2.5D style with pixel art characters in 3D environments and adds voice acting and a remastered soundtrack. The crafting system is super deep, letting you create items better than anything you can buy in shops.
I managed to break. Wow, one more level and I learned a spell too.
Xenoblade Chronicles follows Shulk, a young man who can see the future after grabbing a legendary sword called the Monado. He sets out for revenge against machine enemies called Makan after they attack his home. The game's world is literally built on the frozen bodies of 2 giant titans, and you'll explore environments on their arms, legs, head, and more. Combat happens in real time, where your character auto-attacks while you position them and trigger special arts that have different effects based on where you stand. Some arts do more damage from behind, others from the side. Shulk's ability to see visions of the future during battle warns you of enemy attacks, giving you time to warn allies or change tactics. The game has a huge interconnected world with breathtaking vistas and day-night cycles that change which monsters appear. The definitive edition brings improved graphics, a remastered soundtrack, and adds a new epilogue story called Future Connected. Tears of the Kingdom continues Link's adventure as he tries to find Zelda, who's disappeared after an ancient evil awakens. The game world is the same Hyrule from Breath of the Wild, but completely transformed, with floating sky islands above and a dark depths realm below ground. What makes this game amazing are Link's new abilities. Ultra Hand lets you build basically anything by sticking objects together, like vehicles and weapons. Fuse attaches objects to your weapons for cool effects. Ascend lets you move up through ceilings, and Recall rewinds object movement through time. Combat lets you battle with swords, bows, and other weapons that still break, but now you can fuse stuff to them, like attaching a rock to a stick for a better hammer, or a flame emitter to arrows for fire arrows. The game keeps the open world freedom where you can go anywhere and solve puzzles your own way, but adds huge new dungeons that test your building skills. The story reveals more about Hyrule's ancient past and the creation of the Master Sword. Breath of the Wild starts with Link waking up after a 100-year sleep to find Hyrule in ruins, and Princess Zelda holding back the evil calamity Ganon. The game completely changed Zelda by giving you total freedom in a massive open world where you can go anywhere you see, even straight to the final boss if you're brave enough. The climbing system lets you scale almost any surface as long as you have stamina, and your paraglider lets you soar from high places. Combat is all about being creative. You can drop metal objects during thunderstorms to shock enemies, roll boulders down hills, or set grass on fire that creates updrafts for arrow shots. Your weapons break after using them for a while, forcing you to constantly adapt with what you find. The game's physics and chemistry engines create moments of discovery where you think, I wonder if this works, and it actually does. The story is told through memory flashbacks you discover around the world, letting you piece together what happened 100 years ago at your own pace. And there you have it, the top 20 action RPGs on Nintendo Switch. Whether you want to explore massive open worlds, hunt giant monsters, or build crazy machines, there's something here for everyone. Which of these games is your favorite? Let me know in the comments. And if you think I missed any great action RPGs, tell me what should have made the list. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to SwitchTop for more Nintendo Switch videos every week. See you next time.